Hey, what's up, everybody? Izzy here. Getting ready to jump into episode number, is it 19 or 20? I don't know. I'm still reeling in the fact that Bobby Brown was in my bedroom. Another effing podcast getting ready to get rolling. A little word from the sponsor. Check out Rockstar Leatherworks. RockstarLeatherworks.com. Custom bands and watches. Shit that you'll go on there and buy, and, well, you're just going to want to buy more. That shit is so damn cool. Holding mine right now. Should be wearing it, but I'm just holding it and looking at it and admiring it and how sweet it is. Wore it last night. I always get compliments. I love it. RockstarLeatherworks.com. Check that out. Check the show on Spreaker, Spreaker.com/Izzy Presley. Wow, we got 1,100 listens on the Bobby Brown episode. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Actually, I should thank Metal Sludge because they really pushed that for me. Also, check it out on YouTube. Hit me up on the Twitter. Izzy_Presley. Izzy Presley Productions.com is the website if you want any of your unsigned music to get played on the show. And this week I got Ace Von Johnson from Faster Pussycat stepping in the studio, coming right here in the Hurt Locker. And I think up in a couple weeks I'm going to get Monty Pittman. He is a local LA guy, plays with Madonna, played with Prong. He's got another band too that's fucking amazing. So, without further ado, let us jump into another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fucking podcast. This is episode number 19 or 20. I don't know. I think I lost count. I'm going to go at 20. Seems like a good round number. Please welcome Mr. Ace Von Johnson from Faster Pussycat.
Howdy.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Dude, I'm great. I got a beer.
Yep.
You didn't bring any Jack Daniels, though.
I did not. I thought I'd go the gangster route and bring us some 40s.
Oh, yeah. Can't go wrong with 40s.
I'm actually, I'm going to crack this open. Actually, I already cracked it.
Do
open,
it. Do it.
There was no cracking sound, but this is me drinking it.
Me drinking, too. Oh, that's freaking glorious.
Nothing better than a cold beer on a warm day.
Exactly. I tried to cool it down in here. The Hurt Locker gets really warm, and I'm okay with that because, coming from Minnesota, fucking ice and snow and bullshit.
Well, when you get the ladies over here, you're like, oh, it's so hot. You should probably just, take your clothes off.
That is a brilliant, brilliant plan.
Take that. Use that.
Absolutely. So what's up, buddy?
Nothing. What's going on with you? I feel like I saw you last night.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, I was down at the Rainbow. You went to see Skid Row.
I did. I sure did, yeah.
How'd they sound?
They sounded great. They were awesome. I think Johnny's been in the band 15, 16 years. It's funny because people still go, who's singing for him? I'm like, come on, man. Keep up. If you like a band, you should know if a guy's been in the band for 15 years. Great singer. Great
I
job.
feel
Great
so
band.
bad for that guy, though.
Well, I mean, Baz has his own name. I don't really know him. I know my guys do, but it's one of those things where it's like when you see somebody and they're like, hey, you still with Patricia? And they're like, what do you mean? You're like, you mean the chick I dated 17 years ago?
Right.
Like, no. Well, that's like being in a band. It's like being in a relationship. Sometimes you get married forever, and sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Well, and then, of course, he's got to have the people yelling from the crowd, too. We want Baz. Where's Baz? Do you ever get that? 'Cause I know you've only been Pussycat since 2010, right?
Yeah, it's a 4.5. Well, yeah, I mean, on paper, yeah.
Right.
There was a 2009-ish thing.
Okay.
But, 4.5, 5 years, whatever the hell. Let's call it 20. It feels like 30, actually.
Well, I suppose.
No, I'm
the
kidding.
way
I'm
you
kidding.
guys drink. No, I'm kidding.
You have no idea.
I think I do.
The first tour in the States and the first tour in Europe, there was a little bit of I don't think it was like so much as the same thing, but there was definitely hey Michael, and I was like, yeah, I'm not Michael Thomas. And MT's my bro. I love him. He's a great guitar player, really talented cat. But I was like, I'm sad from being in the pole position that we're in. It's like I don't really, I'm a little taller than he is, and
right.
I mean, whatever. I guess I could see how the mistake would be made, but I was like, well, it's not me. He's not the band anymore, man. Sorry,
Right.
bro. But no one's ever been like, Muscat. I mean, a couple times, but I mean, excuse me.
Nicely done.
Yeah, give it time.
Nice.
I would say, maybe once a year someone said, but that's going to, I'm sure, God, not poor. I was going to say, poor DJ Ashba. But I mean,
Right.
I'm sure he, there's Slash, every day. And it's just
Right.
like I said, man, I mean, there's going to be divorces and breakups and band members and, royalty disputes and all that dumb shit.
Oh, yeah.
So,
absolutely. Well, I've seen Michael Grant go through it, too, in LA Guns. People,
Yeah.
where's Tracy? We
Yeah.
want Tracy. And,
Tracy hasn't been in that band, like that version of that band in 15 years.
Oh, absolutely. And Mike went up to the mic. He's like, Tracy's not here. I'm Michael fucking Grant.
Yep.
And boom.
Yep.
That's all he had to do.
He's the Asian invasion. That guy is too good. He's too good for his own good. If that makes that's a little redundant, but yeah, he's awesome. He's a super fucking cool guy.
Absolutely.
And just a really talented guitar player, and I think he brings a lot of vitality to elegance, as we call him, elegance.
Well, actually, the intro from the song is an End Ever After tune.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
I just like the vibe, and it works so well. And plus, I love that fucking record. I can't. We got to hang out with Michael up on the Monsters of Rock cruise. I don't know how much you remember about it when we were judging the karaoke contest.
It's hazy. Yes, I remember that. I think I kind of checked out towards the end. Like he and I, we were having a blast with it. I was honored to even be asked to do something like that, but it was cool. It was fun. And then towards the end, I was just like gong show. I was like, you got about 10 seconds. I was like, boom, get out. You're done. You're ruining this Journey song or whatever it was. I don't know.
She didn't even get to sing the Journey song. I gonged her before as it started. So we had the gong song of the night, and it's like, fuck, this is a fucking Monsters of Rock cruise. Nobody is singing Don't Stop Believing. This isn't the Rock of Ages cruise. It's just not going to fucking happen. But
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. So that was your third time.
Third time consecutively.
Third time.
We've done all of them. Yeah.
I think you guys will be back next year.
Officially, I don't know, but I have an inkling leaning towards somebody in production referred to us as the belle of the ball. It was implied. I mean, without talking out of turn or whatever the hell.
Right,
it's like,
right.
I think, granted, we're not like the headliner act or anything,
right.
but they kind of more or less, I think it's been implied that without having us not on the boat would be a little lacking in the fun department.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Well, same with Karabi too.
Oh God. Well, what do they call him? Like the president of the whatever, the godfather of the cruise. I mean,
something like that.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. Definitely not to tangent. It's your hosting, but I'm going to throw this in here.
Go for it.
One of my favorite Karabi stories is doing that. Did you go last year?
Oh yeah, I've been all three.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
I was your photographer last year.
I honestly, it's a booze cruise by nature.
Oh yes.
But as an artist, it's like it's a paid vacation amongst not really amongst your friends and constituents and cohorts and blah, blah, blah. And one of my favorite things about a Karabi story or whatever, it wasn't even really a story, was doing that Cinderella and Friends thing, because I'd never been on stage with the guy.
Oh yeah, that was badass.
And that was a lot of fun to be able to be on stage with Fred and some of the guys and Tammy and Krabby.
Right.
And that was cool. The only other time I was ever on stage with him though was when we cowbelled him at the end of as a tour prank.
Nice.
During Hooligans Holiday, we all came out with cowbells and fucked up his song,
that's fucking great.
His final song, but everyone laughed. It was a good time. Good guy. Love that guy.
Yeah, he's really a good shit, and he's nice to everybody.
Oh, he couldn't be a nicer guy. And you know what? I think he's actually a really underrated songwriter.
Oh fuck yes,
and,
I agree.
And singer, and he's a great guitar player. I mean, God, he was a guitar player in rap too. I mean, that's impressive on itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, his Unplugged record is fucking insane.
Yeah. Do you know Topher fairly well?
Yeah.
His bass player. I fucking love that guy.
Oh yeah, his guitar player Jeremy's awesome too.
Yeah, I just met him recently. Super nice guy. Everybody, and his kids playing drums too. Ian.
I know Ian. Yeah, I hung out with Ian a little bit.
Yeah, Ian, Michael, and I took over as like the younger generation on the boat, and we had some fun. He's a good dude. We were joking about starting the band But that's like everybody does.
Absolutely.
I was with Rob from Skid Row after the show last night. We were joking about starting a band, and I'm sure you and I'll joke about starting a band.
I've actually got ideas. Oh yeah, actually, Jeremy and you were at the Kiss Jam for a little bit. Jeremy and Topher came up and did.
They
did
killed
like
it.
4 songs.
They
killed it.
Yeah. No, it was great. You were great.
It was fun. Thank you.
That was a lot of fun.
I was fishing for a compliment right there.
I got it, and I threw you a line.
Who did you going into this year? Who were you most excited to see
On the boat?
on the boat? Yeah.
Different bands for different reasons. The Choir Boys, because they're the fucking London Choir Boys. I mean, there's really no explanation needed there. Overall, probably Cinderella. I'm really picky with God, like I don't know, like my opinion is ridiculous as it is, but of the I'm being in the band that I'm in the similar music genre, like a lot of the bands, like I just never really gravitated to, but Cinderella, I always appreciated the songwriting, but the first year of the boat was the first time I ever saw them live.
Yeah, they kill it.
And I've like moved by their set. And so it's like, wow, it's a really amazing band, which is why I kind of going back a minute ago with doing that, just the one song with the guys or whatever the hell was really, that meant something to me. I mean, it doesn't mean anything in the scheme of things, but it was cool to be on stage with some of the Cinderella guys playing a Cinderella song. But, just seeing them is a highlight. Watching Karabi when I was watching, I was like, man, who's the new drummer? He's like, oh, it's this kid. And I was like, oh shit, that's like that's really cool. That was neat. A lot of it for this year ties in the fact that my stepdad came on the boat. So that was he was there. It was really cool to like treat or whatever. Because like doing what we do, I do. It's like. Really, like, oh, my parents are my sister's here and Tammy's going to dedicate Porn Star to her, so there's like this sort of, Jesus Christ.
I love it.
Mickey's beer, 40 ounces of belching. That was cool. So it was neat to take him and see what he kind of liked. Like he really enjoyed the Karabi set acoustic. He really liked the Choir Boys, just because of the kind of Rod Stewart Faces kind of vibe.
Right.
And so I got enjoyment out of that, like taking him check out this band, and he's like, this, I'm not, what certain other bands like Friends. He's like, it's really for me. He's in his late 60s. Of course, he's not.
So he would have dug the Moody Blues Cruise.
I'm sure he really would have. But of course, the reason he came, he's not a big music guy.
Right,
I mean, he was when he was younger, but. It was more just to kind of support me and hang out.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even a vacation. He's retired, but just like do something that he would never do. You know what I mean? So that was neat. That was kind of like an added.
And mix with that crowd.
Yeah. Well, no, the really cool thing is it was cool. I felt like I told him, he's like, should I buy one of these drink ticket packages? And I was like, you can, but I'm going to be honest. I was like, I'll tell you what, Pops. I'm like, I feel like if people get wind that, because I really doubt there's anyone on the boat yet who's brought a parent.
Right.
I mean, I'm guessing, but I was like, you probably get enough of, oh shit, you're Ace's dad. Like, what are you drinking, man? And sure enough, we kind of held court. I mean, he's an older guy, and he would be at the bar with me, during the afternoon, and he would go gamble or eat dinner, go to bed, whatever the hell, by dark or whatever. But we would be sitting there, and people would be like, what's your dad drinking? And I was like, told you, you're good, man. But it was a lot of fun, though. I mean, there's so many bands, so many great bands.
Winery Dogs were
Winery Dogs, amazing. Another band that I'm only kind of just, and I feel kind of guilty just admitting this, Y&T. Okay, I knew the songs, but I didn't know that a lot of them were Y&T. And we did a one-off with them about a year and a half ago or something like that, and had the greatest time. We bonded really well. And so now anytime I see the Manichettes or any of those guys, and John and everybody, it's really like a neat. We have a good camaraderie, but also they're a fucking rad band. So watching them,
it's funny because the first time I got into Y&T was on the first cruise. I was bombed. Go figure.
What?
And and I went up to the pool deck to smoke, and it was windy as shit, and it was late, and Y&T was on stage.
Yeah,
and they were doing "I Believe in You," and just, I mean, the fog was just rolling, and looking like a fucking kick-ass rock show, with all the wind, and there's Manichetti just playing that fucking solo. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I was hooked.
Yeah, they're a
I
great
was
band.
absolutely hooked. So we went back the next night and watched them from the jacuzzi.
Oh, cool. That's not a bad place to be.
Which you can't do on the new boat, which kind of sucked.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was kind of like indoors almost.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the upside of it is it did so well the first 2 years, they need to get a bigger fucking boat.
Absolutely.
And I think it's on an upswing. I think it'll continue to probably be that way.
Yeah, I hope so. And I don't see it going south anywhere soon.
I don't either. I think they've got so many good bands, and I think I'm looking. Well, I'm assuming that we'll be there. I don't know if confirmed or not, but I know Night Ranger is going to be on next year.
Yes,
and I'd like to see them again.
They're fucking
great.
amazing.
I kind of a similar thing where I was like, Sister Christian. I know a couple songs, but my drummer Chad Stewart, they're one of his top 3 favorite bands. He's like, you gotta go, and I was like, oh, I can check it out. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, Brad Gillis.
Band. Yeah. Oh, well, okay.
And Joel, I mean, fuck.
Oh, yeah. And, Gillis on guitar is one of those, I mean, I just play. I'm not like a shredder or anything like that. But watching him play guitar, I was like, yeah, I'm going to probably go home and hawk my gear and just go greet people at Walmart now.
Yeah, dude. I feel the same way watching Manichetti.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, to me, Manichetti, watching Gillis, there's different styles.
Oh,
obviously.
absolutely.
But watching Gillis, it's like, okay, you're doing, it's like off the rails. And then Manichetti is more speaks my like volumes or whatever the fuck, because it's all blues.
Because he plays with his dick.
Well, yeah. It's not so without being curt here. It's blues based. It's a little more tasty to me. It's a little less.
No, I'm in the same boat. Yeah.
Noodly, but God, I mean, the thing I liked about Y&T, and I felt that's what I'm saying is I felt like I missed out because I've always been a huge Thin Lizzy fan. I've always been a huge Dio fan, and I was like, this band, to me, in my opinion, the early stuff, was it Mean Streak? Is that a record or is that just a song? I know it's a song, but
I know it's a song. I think it's a record.
I think that's a title track, but whatever. That album that has that and Midnight in Tokyo, I was like, this is like the band that is like the gap between Thin Lizzy and like Dio in musically speaking.
Wow, I never thought of it.
And I was at least from a guitar player's approach, and I was like, how the fuck have I not been listening to this band for the last 15 years?
Oh, absolutely. A funny story about Chad, your drummer. Chad,
so many funny stories.
Well, this is true. We're watching Winery Dogs from behind the stage, from behind Portnoy, and he's just getting pissed.
Oh yeah, that's Chad had that same thing. He's like, I'm gonna sell my drums.
Yeah, he's literally looking at me and go, this is dumb. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. No, he's just showing off.
Yep.
Fuck him.
Yep, that
fuck
sounds like
this.
Skippy. Yeah. Well, I mean, Portnoy's probably the best drummer on that boat. I mean, up there.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, everybody's got their niche, I think.
of course.
You know. But Portnoy, I mean, technically speaking, just to do what he does.
Excuse me.
Don't turn away. Do that shit into the mic.
Oh well, yeah, I can do that. I'll save up a good one.
Nice. Use the vibrato.
Oh yeah. Belch.
I had to leave the bag on to keep it ghetto style.
Yeah, I was gonna go with that, but I thought hearing like this every time I was drinking from the bottle would be a little tacky.
Fuck it. This isn't radio.
It's not. I gotta go.
Ah, damn it. Bobby, can you come back?
That was me trying to slam the door.
Right,
and
right,
it didn't
right.
slam, and the joke went unnoticed.
Right. And I apologize because I showered for her.
But not for me.
But not for you.
Yeah, that's all right.
I
I've showered for her too, but she's not here.
Right.
You told me she was going to be here.
Well, a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do to get artists, in here.
What did you have to tell Monty Pittman? No, fucking around. That's awesome. You have him coming in,
dude.
Respect.
He
man.
is
that
like
guy's awesome.
that dude is sick, and I tell you what, I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, I've seen him with Prong before.
And I went to see it was Florentine and Jameson and Dean Del Rey. They did this live podcast thing down at the Improv.
Yeah.
And he came up and was like, oh yeah, he plays with Madonna. He played with Prong. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then all of a sudden he started telling these stories. I'm like, ooh, I like this.
Yeah.
This guy could be really good on the show.
Yeah.
And then it's the Power of Three.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the band?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's got this. It's a 3-piece, which is badass. And I think it's called The Power of Three. And I've listened to a little bit, and it's fucking just killer. It's noodly, but it's heavy, but it's groovy and it's catchy.
All right.
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right on.
I'm rather excited about that. So, I don't know much about you. Because we've been on the cruise for 3 years together.
Yeah.
And we really only kind of met and
more recently
friended up,
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
And you don't even have a Wikipedia page, so I couldn't do any research.
Yeah, which is
You're the only guy in the band with no Wikipedia page.
And not to pat myself on the back, but I really should have one. And the fucked up thing is I had a friend make me one, and some guy, I don't know how it works, but some guy cited that there wasn't enough references or something and had it taken down.
What?
And I was like, what? I can say cunty, obviously.
Yes.
What kind of cunty living in your parents' basement dude has nothing but... I was like, it's not like it was literally a paragraph. And it linked to maybe 4 or 5 of the bands I'd been in that have my name already there. And I had, I don't fucking know all the rigmarole that comes along with it, but I had here's an interview from when I was in this band, and here's this article on when I was in... It's like, that's what you needed, right? And so, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I should have a Wikipedia page. I don't. I have a nice lengthy resume, but it's, I think, over the 4 or 5 years I've been working with Pussycat, it's not a lot of stuff that, when the first 2 years I was in the band, people were like, so, where'd you come from? Were you in Bang Tango or Enough's Enough? And I was like, absolutely not. Not because there's anything wrong with those bands. Those are homies, but it's just, I didn't come from that. I came from a punk rock, poppy, I don't know what whatever background. And I've been in a lot of different bands over the year. In the 12, 13, 14 years I've been playing music at different genres. But my buddy Dave, who watches my fucking dog when I'm on tour, he was like, I feel like every time I talk to you, I learn another band that you were in that I didn't know you were in. And I was like, well, yeah. I mean, I some people would say I get around a lot, but I work, and I try to
that's
network
what it's all
about. Rub elbows and, do whatever. Did you get locked out of your computer?
I forgot to change the settings.
Is that nudie pictures on your? I'm seeing nudie pictures.
Yeah.
Were those Bobby's breasts I was seeing?
No, they were not Bobby's breasts.
Kidding. They were album covers.
Yes, they were. Well, album covers that I made. I made these. When I used to make these CDs, they were just called shit. So it was like 80 shit volumes 1 through 10, I think. It was like the 80s new wave stuff. But that didn't have the naked. That didn't have the boobies and vaginas and vajayjays.
Yeah,
and
vajayjays.
Then I went into the cover shit, and it was cover shit volumes 1 through 6. I'm like, since it's just me, these aren't for anybody else. I'm gonna put naked chicks on the CD covers.
That'll get people's interest.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's where the booby stuff came from. And God bless boobies.
Give it up for boobies.
Thank you, boobies. We love you. So, your long resume.
Oh, it's not really that impressive. It's just a lot of punk rock bands.
Well, yeah, but there's people that might know this stuff.
I don't know. Since I got out of high school in the last 12 years, I've done at least 3 months of touring every year of my adult life.
Okay.
So and that's minimum. So,
So you've been a pro musician pretty much.
I've been
your whole working career.
I haven't had a day job in 7 years. I'm not living some lavish lifestyle.
Right.
I share a house in the valley, but I own a car and my bills are paid. And it's nice. I'm really lucky and blah blah blah. But end of statement.
Okay, very well. Are you a California kid?
Yeah, born and raised in the valley, bro. Like
in
totally.
the valley, man.
Yeah, the exit that I have to get off on the freeway to go to my house, I drive by the high school my parents went to. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And so that, and I could ride a bike to the hospital I was born at.
Right.
Like I'm a valley kid. So when certain people Tammy and other people are like, or whoever, they're like, oh, fucking the valley. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't fucking move here, 5, 10, 15 years ago. I'm proud of that. I'm fucking from the Valley. That's where
Right.
I'm from, you know.
How old are you?
Should I lie? No, I'm 31.
Oh, wow. You are a pup.
Yeah, 31. I was going to say 30, but I was like, well, it's fucking, I don't know. I'm going to start lying now. It's just, there's going to be some comment thread like, he is not. You know?
27 in 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I'm 27 in 4 years. Yeah, no, I'm 31, born in the end of 82, Christmas baby. You know, I got robbed of all the presents. I'm 12/27. So it's like, here's your Christmas, birthday, quarter Jew, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's gift all at once. It's a bit of.
So
I get
you
robbed.
pretty much got months end every year.
Mm-hmm.
That
Every
sucks.
single year. Yeah.
Every single year.
And I'm
How did
still
you hook
bitter
up
about
with the
that.
Pussycat guys?
Okay. I'm going to do the condensed version. I was working for, I still kind of am, although it's complicated. There's this skateboarder guy from the 70s, 80s named Dwayne Peters. He was kind of like the Tony Hawk of his day. And he and I have had a bunch of various bands over the years. And at the time we were playing, or I was playing in his band, I should say, called the U.S. Bombs. They were kind of, they had a little, push in the late 90s, early 2000s. And really a lot of fun with those guys. And we were touring, and I believe our agent or manager or somebody that was getting paid, when we weren't or whatever,
That's always how it works, isn't it?
yeah, is this guy Charlie. And Charlie Overby, he is a sweet motherfucker, great guy in his own right. And he, side note, he had a band in the 80s, 90s or whatever called Big Bang Babies. And his guitar player was...
Sounds familiar.
His guitar player was Kerry Kelly.
Okay.
And so that's where KK came from. But that's a little Wikipedia knowledge that's not there. And so Charlie was like representing the band, blah, blah, blah. He saw us play, saw me play, what the fuck ever. And he was like, hey, I've got this band and... excuse me. And...
Love it.
And he goes, it's kind of an all-star band, but not really. He's like, Brian Forsyth from Kix was playing guitar for a minute, and obviously he's busy with other stuff.
Right.
He's like, I got some of the guys from Faster Pussycat in the band, and like, this guy from Danzig in the band, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in. I was like, what do you need? So, and it was cool. It was like Americana kind of rock and roll, Social Distortion meets Bruce Springsteen thing. Long story short, joined the band. We did a bunch of dates, one-offs and touring and stuff, and then we did a show at the House of Blues Hollywood with Reverend Horton Heat, and that
Nice.
it was kind of one of those who's who kind of like, like I'm like, oh my, and I had met him 100 times. How could you not? But I'm like, oh my God, Lemmy's in my backstage, like in my room, hanging out, and there's a really good photo of him and Danny and I in the bathroom somewhere, but that's another story. And
Was Danny sober?
at the time, absolutely, it's a joke. I was like, serious? Is that a serious joke? A serious question? That we'll come back to that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We're going to get into
Jesus.
that later on.
Yeah, YouTube 100,000 viewers can't be wrong, or can they? So blah blah blah, and there was this guy back there drinking our Jack Daniels, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy drinking? Because I was like, direct support show at House of Blues, kind of like, and I'd been in the industry long enough, I was kind of like, who the fuck is this guy I don't know drinking my fucking whiskey? And sure enough, it was one Tammy Down.
Yes.
And as he does.
Who likes Jack Daniels?
Oh, how could he not? How could you not? That's our beverage of choice. And so there it is.
Yeah, I
nice.
finished it off last week.
That's all right. I would have brought one, but the gas station I stopped at didn't have it, which is why we're holding Mickey's.
Oh, thank Lemmy.
Because, yeah, otherwise this podcast is going to go super long when I'm like, Lindsay, let me tell you, when I was 19. No, I never get that fucked up. Or do I?
Well, I don't. The story I heard from the cruise this year is before your last show, you guys went through, 6 bottles?
Oh, I'm sure that's even
Low?
Yeah, we'll touch on that here in a second, too.
Right. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I'm dragging this out.
No, it's all right.
So I met Tammy. He saw the show. Danny played that night. Chad played that night, and that was probably like 2008. And so that was kind of my introduction to Tammy and sort of like whatever. And in 2000, that might have been 2009. It doesn't really matter. Some point in 2009, Michael was preoccupied with Adler's Appetite, And so they basically said, hey, we're gonna need a guitar player. Do you want to come over and kind of jam and stuff? I said, sure, and like went over to Tammy's, and I'm sure there's more details to it, but the only thing I can really remember is sitting there and kind of like shooting the shit. I felt like I was kind of like, being sussed out and playing, I had Tammy's, gold top Les Paul on my lap. I was just kind of like dicking around. And he's like, well, I can see you can fucking play, fucking Bubba, and I was like, yeah, all right. And then I passed the test or whatever the fuck. And, cause there was no audition. It wasn't like that. It was just Chad and Danny were like, this guy. And, that's how a lot of these gigs work.
Oh, absolutely. Just come over and jam.
Yeah.
See what happens.
They're not going to call Barry Squire and have 300 kids come on. Right. Now, can you play Bathroom Wall at this tempo? What the fuck ever. But, if you don't know who Barry Squire is, Google him. It'll make sense. But, that was it. That was really it. He gave me a burned CD of like, the set list material. And I remember it with a cigarette in his mouth. He goes, fucking, here you go, Bubba, don't suck. And I was like, all right, I guess that's a wrap. And we did some rehearsing, and then there was kind of like the plug got pulled at some point, and Michael basically came back.
Oh, okay.
And so I was kind of like, oh, all right, like I've done this before. And I was like, yeah, whatever, shit happens. And no hard feelings. And then a few months later, they kind of decided that this something similar happened. And they gave me a first rights of refusal, and I said, sure, yeah, let's go. And we went out on the road with Tracy's now defunct version LA Guns with Jizzy Pearl, which having Jizzy sing for any band is fucking legend, because that guy rules. But and that was fun. That was my first tour, and that was the beginning of 2009 or 10, excuse me. Yeah.
Did you feel like a young guy around all those guys?
Yeah, and they kind of treat. I remember they were like, oh, okay, so no pooping on the bus, and like this is where your bunk is.
That's rule number one.
And I was like,
everybody knows that.
Well, of course. And I was like, I don't want to be rude, motherfuckers, but this is not my first bus tour by any means. I'm like, I've had nicer buses and in other countries, and this I had to kind of pull my dick out a little bit.
Right.
And so again, I guess no Wikipedia page, nobody knows. But yeah, whatever. It was fun. It was fun, but I did definitely feel like the new guy, the young guy. I mean, there's a mass. Everyone in my band is respectively in their 40s, and basically just coming out, and I was still 27 at the time, so I was kind of like, all right, you guys are like 40 and I'm 27, so there was definitely like a age gap for sure, but we're all into the same shit. It's like whiskey and yes. Alice Cooper and like big titties,
Right, exactly. And and once you start drinking with people,
yeah,
I think the age gap just kind of goes away.
Well, and I think Tammy and my rapport is built off of something completely different than everybody else's. Not that, I'm sure they all each have their own individual history, but having worked with all those guys since the 90s, even through the Newly Deads, so, approaching almost 20 years with the rest of the band members of Pussycat versus me, there's definitely, even it's noticeable in my opinion, where the approach with maybe me and different things, whether it's set listy shit or what the fuck ever, is different, and I appreciate that, and I think it also helped that I didn't come in being like, fan isn't the right word, but not being like, oh my god, tame me down.
Right.
I was just kind of like, oh yeah, like you're this guy, I know you had some clubs, and like I knew Pussycat when I was a kid because I knew House of Pain and You're So Vain, right. And I love the rain and trips to Spain. Someone's knocking on your door.
Is there? It's me. Dude, we're kind of recording a podcast right now.
Oh, okay.
What do you need?
Well, A, we have your internet money, and B,
this is awesome.
Would it be cool with you if they practiced upstairs?
Hey, just come in here for a second.
Yeah, come on in.
Come on in. Vic, this is
what's up, man?
We've never been
Ace.
formally
All right.
introduced. This is Ace. That's Vic. Come on, dude. Just come on in. It's okay. Okay, Vic. Drop down in front of that mic a little bit. So you're trying to give me money.
Where's my money? You got my money?
So you have $7 or $9 for me, is what you're saying.
No, I have like $27.
She already gave me $27.
She did?
Don't tell him
I
that.
gave you $27, and then you said we owed you another half.
No, you gave me 18 for
So I owe you.
You owe me $9.
Okay, I owe you $9.
All right, beauty. And it's okay if you guys jam up there.
Okay, cool.
Vic, say hi to the world, by the way.
Hello, world.
This is Barkeep Vic. He's a barkeep here in Hollywood.
What bar?
the writer's room in Hollywood, California.
Cool.
It's one of these little ones you have to sneak in the back door that nobody knows about. One of those trendy Hollywood places that you have to know people to get in, I guess.
There's like a secret knock.
You have to fart the right way.
Fart the right way. I like that. Barkeep Vic, everybody. Yay! I'm going to leave that in, too.
I think you should.
Absolutely.
I think not anything.
Wait a second. He didn't give me the money.
He did not.
Fucker.
I think if anyone's listened to me talking this long, then they deserve to sit through that.
No, you got shit to say, dude. It's all good.
Whatever. Yeah. I don't even know what tangent I was on. Something about working with Tammy. I just think it's one of those things where, like, I didn't really, it's he's a cool motherfucker. That's really all I can say. And I genuinely, I know where I'm going with this. I genuinely enjoy working with the guy. He's really a sweetheart. I think, a lot of people don't understand that most of that, the shtick on stage, that's like his stage persona.
Right. I'm
fucking awesome when I'm on stage. I might suck on guitar, but I am awesome. And then I'm off stage.
I disagree with that.
Well, thank you. But he's a good dude. He's gone to bat for me on a lot of things, personally and business wise, and I love him. And that we broke that fucking barrier on the first tour because we, like you said, Whiskey. We were up and it was just he and I. And it was kind of like, so you're probably the new guitar player, like, because it was, it's trial basis on anything. Absolutely. And so, we had a lot of like family shit we had discussed and bonded on that. And I fucking love the guy, and he's a good motherfucker. So if, all those guys on the message board shit or whatever, right. I don't even know. I'm making this up. But, Tammy's a dick because he didn't sign my wife's titties, or he did sign my wife's titties, but with his dick. I mean, like, what? Sorry, man. If you're at a Pussycat show, fucking anything can happen. And exactly. I fucking love that guy. And I think anybody that knows him legitimately would agree with that statement.
The first time I interviewed him, it was by phone. It was because I was back in Minneapolis at the time. And I knew he had just woken up. Because it was like it would have been.
This is dark 30.
It would have been like 11-ish this time, noonish, and I was scared. I was scared.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
Was the word fuck used as every other word?
No, but I I remember there was some shit going on with Brent. And
okay. So was Brent still in the band?
No. This was when there was like supposed to be a lawsuit or something like that.
Yeah. So like mid 2000s.
Yeah. Nicely done. And so I brought it up. He's like, man, I've talked about that. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, well, what do you want to know? I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to bring it up.
Why, Poppy? Why? Yeah.
No, but I've gotten to know Tammy a little bit. And he does seem like a really fucking cool guy. So
yeah.
And you guys are working on new music right now.
We are. We sure are. We've been playing two songs out, mostly Pretty Ugly, and we played it on both sets on the boat.
Okay.
And like if you feel like it, you can YouTube Faster Pussycat Pretty Ugly, and I'm sure there's plenty of versions of it live. And I'm sure we're drunk in all of them.
On the cruise?
No, on every show.
On every show.
Yeah,
Absolutely. How far are you guys along?
It's kind of hard to say. I think what I'm under the impression is that we're doing it as two EPs, and then we'll comp them together at some point in the future as like a full length with additional tracks.
Right.
I know we're trying to get it. We're doing this Quiet Riot package tour, Bang Your Head tour.
Yep.
July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. It's I don't know. It's long.
You're gonna be up in my old stomping grounds.
Yeah, I saw that. We just we did a one-off in Texas as like a trial run for this thing, and it was awesome. There was like 2,400 people, so clearly rock and roll is still alive, but and there's an audience to be had. But anyways, so the goal is to have an EP out before the tour. However, Tammy and I have discussed if it doesn't happen before then, it doesn't happen. He doesn't want to rush it. I don't want to rush it. We've only been home from tour for 2.5 weeks, and everyone needs to get their bearings straight. Chad's on Rock on the Range right now, and Danny's got his shit going on, and Christian's got his stuff going on, and I'm here and waiting for Bobby to show up. And there you go.
Bobby, where are you? We're waiting.
I
have more stuff to talk to you about.
Maybe you can get her to come back again. So that's the goal, but I guarantee there will be a new Pussycat release before the end of the year. I would be willing to bet my something that I'm not too scared of losing on. I was going to say my foot.
The right one or the left one?
Let's go with the left one.
So you're just doing an EP?
I think that's what it's going to shape up to be.
That really seems like the way. I mean, Skid Row just did that too. They're putting out
United
an EP,
World Rebellion, I think,
something like that.
Yeah,
and I listen to it. It's not that bad. It's got its high points.
It's the better. It's the best new stuff I've heard in a while. And I got to say, fucking what's up, because Rob is the drummer on this first release, and that's my bro, and he's a fucking rad drummer, and so cool. To have, we were shortly after I saw you last night, we were discussing this, having that, being in a band for 4, 5, 6, 7 years and finally getting a fucking album out. It's like, all right, like if I die in a month from now or tomorrow, at least I left a little mark. Because, after being in Pussycat for 5 years or 4, whatever you want to call it, it's like, yeah, all right, cool. Like, but it'd be nice to have something out there that's,
yours,
mine, yeah.
How involved are you with the writing process?
It's a little bit. It's more Danny and myself, not so much at the same time. We'll go to Tammy's and he'll have sort of an idea, and we'll kind of flesh it out from there. Or we'll have like maybe a riff, and he'll kind of take it and do whatever he wants with it. He does a lot of stuff at his home studio. But he doesn't have it set up anymore at the moment to do like guitar, because I told him, I was like, we can flesh it all out on the computer digitally, but I was like, I didn't want to track guitars digitally. I said, some rhythms are fine, but I would like to feel the Marshall speakers, and get the real thing, and he was like, whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy, and we'll produce the best results. So we're kind of like, if you go see, perfect example, if you go see the YouTube video, whatever the fuck one, of Pretty Ugly, there was a pre-existing song, and there was room for either a solo or a melody or whatever, and we collectively had been listening to a lot of this new Turbo Negro record, which I also think shows in some of the new stuff. So it's kind of like rock punk, whatever. And I kind of came up with this little melody line that's kind of, sounds like a Pussycat song. It's kind of, I don't know. I never took lessons. I don't know what the fuck it's called. It's one of those pentatonic fucking things.
Right.
And it's a little melody line, and that's my little contribution to that song, and so on and so forth. So usually there's like some chords, and I come up with the fucking thing and the melody part. Or a lot of times it was Danny's or Tammy's, but most of the music Tammy writes. What I mean? So,
well, there you go.
There you have it.
New Pussycat is coming.
Yeah, it's coming,
and I cannot
in
wait.
Your mouth.
Tell you what, we're gonna giggity. Wait, what? Sometimes I throw giggity out just on impulse, and that was a wrong place to throw in a giggity. Because unless it was direct, I don't know.
How Lois.
Let's play a song.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a song. Last week I played Bumblefoot's version of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Which was awesome.
You listened last week?
I did. I listened to it. I wanted to know what the fuck I was getting into.
Oh, boy. This is a little bit different. I don't have that holy shit, you're a gorgeous, beautiful woman sitting in front of me vibe right now. It's just like bros hanging and bullshitting. I like this. Granted, I liked how it smelled in here last week, though. It was better.
Next time I'll bring the strawberry spray.
So I figured there's this band, used to be based out of Arizona, back from the 90s, and they're called Crash Alley. And on their record, which I can't think of right now, they also did another version of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. So I was
sensing a theme.
Sensing a theme. I'm like, fuck it. Let's play their version of it.
All right.
And is this it? No, actually, no. I decided against that. I remembered. I decided against that. But this is a Crash Alley song. This is called Repent House. Enjoy it. You very, very much will. Crash Alley right here on another fucking podcast.
Agony,
That was Crash Alley with Agony Booth / Repent House off of the album Swag. I'm assuming you can find that on iTunes or somewhere on the interweb. Hey, if you need a car, if you're in dire need and you are in the LA area, please check out One Stop Auto here in Highland Park. It's the number one. StopAutoLA.com is the website. They were able to get my horseshit credit ass approved. And I have a brand new car. Well, not a brand new car. It's a brand new used car. But I'm driving a fucking BMW now because of the good people over at One Stop Auto here in the Los Angeles area. Check them out. OneStopAutoLA.com. That's the number one. StopAutoLA.com. You could be driving a BMW also. And that would be glorious. Because you could be as cool as me. Anyways, that was Crash Alley with Agony Booth / Repent House. I am here with Ace Von Johnson from Faster Pussycat.
Hey.
What'd you think? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was the vocals. It was very Aussie. It was cool. It was like a Sabbath-y thing.
Yeah,
like kind of like grunge rock.
He had a very different vibe to his voice, and I really dug it. They used to do a very cool version of the Cars, moving in stereo.
Really?
Kind of like an industrial feel to it. It was pretty cool. And of course, it just reminded me of I've Always Loved You. Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
Yes.
of course. We've been chatting about Pussycat. We've been chatting about Ace. And Pussycat. Pussycat. Had a little news going on. Had some YouTube hits on this glorious little video of their bass player Danny.
Yes.
And this was I did not realize this was the night before the cruise.
It was the night before we got on the boat.
Danny was not sober on stage. And
Ever.
well, right, but he was a little bit past that point.
Yeah.
And now the headline of the video says it was the first song, which is bullshit.
Of course.
Yeah, that was towards the end of the set, right?
Yeah, it was. We did about 10 songs, and then we decided to cut out about 2 or 3 and kind of jumped to the last chunk of the set, which was Bathroom Wall, which was when all hell broke loose.
Danny, again, was not sober, and the video's up on the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/anothereffingpodcast, and Danny took a header right into the bass drum.
Yeah.
And it's quite hilarious. And I talked to him last night. He laughs about it.
Oh yeah.
You know.
That's why we were able to laugh at it. I think not to interject, but I
no,
think
go ahead, please do.
If he had really hurt himself, I would be really upset. But because he was so drunk that he just collapsed like a pile of laundry and got back up, sort of, it's funny. And yeah.
But I just love that fucking Davey just looks over, watches it happen, turns back to the mic and goes, "Fucking rock and roll."
Fucking classic. Yeah. And it's true. He says in the video, he goes, he's going to wake up to that on a repeat loop every day. And he more or less did, because every single day we were watching it and just laughing. Because what happened is after that, I'll come back to what really happened that day, but after that, the next day we got on the boat. And so we were off the grid for 5-6 days. And we came back, everyone turned their cell phone on, and it was like, ding, 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 ding. You know, like, have you heard about Danny? Is Danny okay? How's Danny? Is Danny dead? And it was this whole thing. And I laughed. The first time I saw the video, I laughed so hard. I cried. I couldn't stop laughing. And tears were streaming down my face. I came out of my bunk, and everyone was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "You have to see this. It's hilarious." And Danny, not so impressed. Yeah. It was it's funny in hindsight, and one of the haters was like, "Oh, it's the most press Pussycat's gotten in 20 years," and there may be some kind of truth to that, but fuck it, because you know what?
Exactly.
All press is good press, motherfucker.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, and you're the one commenting on my video, not the other way around.
Exactly.
But if you want the top to bottom of it, Danny had started, everyone's got, people fucking forget that people have personal lives.
Oh, absolutely.
I saw a couple people, and they did have a point. They're like, well, people paid for that show, blah, blah, paid good money. And my buddy Rob from Skid Row was actually at that show, and a lot of other people. And I had some family at that show who'd never seen the band before, or even me play before, and which also explains my, fucking my demeanor, if you see. And people forget. Well, first of all, I think everybody was so entertained by all the antics that night that I think that they more than got their money's worth, even if we cut 2 fucking songs.
Right.
First of all. Second of all, people forget sometimes that, it's like he has shit, he, at the time had some shit going on, and, last year I had a bunch of shit going on, family stuff, and it's like, you cope, and when you're like 4,000, 12,000, 3,000, what the fuck, 1,000,000 miles from home, and you're in a random place, and you're in a bus with a bunch of people that you either love or hate or both, and you're surrounded by drugs and alcohol and loose women all the time, or what the fuck ever. Sometimes other people's vices vary. Mine's usually candy, but that's another story. This guy here with a bag of Coke. All right, come on in. This guy here with candy. Everyone's like, Ace. That's a bad joke, but anyways. I'm not one to really judge. I think he had one of those days where he was partying all day, and we saw it coming. It wasn't the first fucking song of the set,
right?
And we did our best to get him to get his act together. We forced him to take a nap. We made him drink about a half a gallon of water and all this shit. I think there were a couple other methods that were attempted, and just what the fuck ever. And it was, he had been on a bender all day. I mean, starting at 10 a.m. or something. I mean, we were loading in at 1 p.m. and he was already drunk. So, and that's, I'm not picking on him for it, but
right. Shit happens. I mean,
it is what it is. But we got through about 65% of the set, and the thing is, with the guy Andy from the Red Light Saints, the bass player, they, being on tour with any band, you kind of pick up on other band songs.
Right.
When they sound check, they would kind of dick around with some of our songs, and we would have fun with each other, and they would come up and play a song with us every night anyhow. And so, knowing that he was in that headspace, he kind of was like, well, do you want me to play the show? And Tammy was like, no, absolutely not. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, as we would with any of us.
Absolutely.
And so, the benefit of the doubt. And, he got about 60% into it, and towards the the set's usually broken up into kind of like 3 sections. And we were about towards the end of the middle section, and he kind of was losing it. And so that's when the bass player, who literally just jumps right in there, was kind of on deck. Mm-hmm. And Danny had mentioned to me, he's like, well, if you fell and blah blah blah, I would stop playing and I would pick you up and blah blah. And I was like, you have a point. But you forget that you called me a Jew faggot a bunch of times that day, and my stepbrother was there and his wife, and I had kind of had enough of you, man. And I was like, other normal circumstances, I would have totally been like, yo, my boy's hurt or whatever. But he was so drunk that he just fell. He felt, he toppled over. He actually didn't hit his head. Everyone thinks he hit his head. He actually went shoulder first into the drum riser.
Right, but he hit his head on the bass drum though, right?
No, never.
Okay.
It just looks that way.
Okay.
Everyone, how's your head? How's your head? Don't ask Danny how his head is. His head is fine. His shoulder and his arm had the biggest welt and bruising I've ever seen in my life on someone that wasn't beat with a baseball bat. It looked like that.
Wow.
But I saw that he was still coherent and kind of like, oh, I don't know what happened, and I was like just embarrassed. And that was, if you look at my reaction, which I'm the one furthest away from the camera.
Yeah, you can't even see you hardly.
You can see me a little bit, and I kind of point with my hand, kind of like, there you go, you made your bed, now fucking lay in it, motherfucker. And Danny's the one really I'm closest with in the band, which is why I kind of have that approach, because it's a little embarrassing when that shit happens. And I'm sure anyone else in the band would have felt the same way had it been me, or what the fuck ever. And I think mostly it was that I had family there that had never seen me play, and we were in Atlanta or Marietta or wherever it was. And I was a little embarrassed, not just because I was on stage with that, because that's what I expect that a bit, but because my family was there and I was really upset by that. And that's really to counter his statement that he's not here to make, how I felt about that. And I love the guy, but I was kind of like, if I did that and your family was there, I'd expect you to kind of have like a fuck you opinion too. But he got carried off by our tech, Drew, who doesn't get enough credit. Drew, I love you. I'm sure he'll listen to this at some point. You monkey motherfucker. Best tech I've ever had. He threw Danny over his shoulder and carried him off that stage. And it's not a short stage. It's a good 4 or 5 feet up. And they put him in the back, and I saw him, flailing his arms, and he was awake or, conscious, so I knew he was okay, and that's why I don't feel bad at all.
Right.
Well,
yeah, that's the thing. It's like he wasn't hurt.
His ego more than anything, really.
Yeah, and I ran into him last night at the Bow, and he had a great attitude about it.
And he's turned it into a fucking press fucking field day. He
said something about CNN and Tammy giving him shit.
Yeah, he was on. It wasn't CNN. It was HLN or one of those kind of newsy networks. I can't remember. But there was some a TMZ ripoff show, and I think it's called like In This Minute or something like that. I can't remember what it is. And they did one of those, like, kind of picked it apart. But they were actually pretty gracious towards definitely the band, but also his predicament, if you will. But it was cool to kind of we saw it on TV, and we're like, and, it freezes on him, the image of him, and it says the drunk bassist and an arrow, and then it cuts to him collapsing, and it was cool. I mean, it's just one of those things that in hindsight it's funny, and everyone I posted the video on my Facebook before anyone else that I knew of, and I had a couple friends, mutual friends, that were kind of like, yo, that's not cool. And, that's fucked up. And I was like, listen, man, I was like, first of all, to anybody, I was like, you weren't there. I'm like, you weren't there. Danny, I love him to death, but he, like all of us, me, Tammy, everyone, sometimes you get fucked up. Sometimes you're sober. Sometimes you're just being an asshole, and shit happens. And I kind of was like, you know what? That was the circumstance. And me posting that, I don't have any regrets about that, because I was like, not only was it funny, but also I was kind of like, that's like my revenge for you being a dick.
Right.
And, if you're going to get that fucked up, someone's going to be there to film it, that's on you, man. So, and of course, everyone afterwards was like, oh, whatever. But it's funny. You watch it, and it's funny. Well, someone turned it into one of those GIFs or GIFs or whatever, and it's just a loop. Just kaboom, 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 kaboom.
Well, I mean, fucking Tammy even says it on stage. I hope somebody got that on video. I mean, fuck. So, yeah, it's funny.
Classic.
It's funny because nothing happened to him.
Yeah. Nobody was seriously hurt, and it's funny.
I think
and we love you, Tender. We love you.
I think there's probably a lot of people out there that think that, well, it's just Bush League and a band that's at like a Pussycat status.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be getting that fucked up for a show.
Fuck you. Here's the thing. Without going on a long-winded response to the question you're not posing, we're a bunch of, in my opinion, everyone in their own right is, this isn't, without, I don't even want to name a band. We're not, I wasn't there. I wasn't on Sunset Strip in 86.
Right.
I don't care, because this is 2014. I don't care. It was like a lifetime ago, literally. So the band is grown and it gone from that. This is now. And the band now, in the last 10 years, let's just say, and in my tenure, it's, we like to party. Everybody parties. If you don't know that and you show up and one of us is drunk or all of us are drunk, or someone's on drugs, or somebody touches someone's girlfriend's titty.
Boobs.
Yeah, boobs. Tatas. Like you weren't at a God, I don't want to even name a band. You weren't at like a fucking poppy. I don't really, the sleaze rock thing, the title, I just think it's kind of sounds, it's silly to me, but it's a sleaze rock band. Like,
it really is.
If you see me after the show and I'm hammered on whiskey, and a girlfriend of mine sent me a picture of me kissing this woman on the mouth, and she was easily my mother's age, and she was like, why? And I was like, oh, well, 1, I'm drunk. 2, I'm drunk. 3, do you know what band I'm in? And
Right.
4, most importantly, I remember her from this. I remember she plied me with whiskey all night and wanted a picture with me. And I was like, come here. And that's what you're going to get. And if that's not what you want to see, like, that's cool. Like, go see One Direction or like a band that their shit's on tape.
Right.
Or what the fuck ever. We fuck up. We do drinking. Let's say, yeah, I was just saying.
We do drinking.
We do drinking. It's real. I think it's
Well, and that's what I love
it's
about
dirty, and that's what it is.
That's what I love about it. And that's why I love bands like you guys, and I love LA Guns, and I love, there's this vibe, and there's a feel, and there's an attitude about it, and that's what draws me to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and our set, even set wise, it's like the set changes because Tammy might not fucking feel like playing whatever the fuck song,
right?
You know what I mean? Or Danny might fall over and fall into the drum kit. Or someone might throw a ham at Chad. I don't know. Shit happens.
Yeah, but he would catch it with his mouth.
Oh, you said that, not me. Chad is a master chef, and if he caught a ham in his mouth, he would turn it into a delicious meal.
Absolutely.
He won a fucking award on the boat. He was like the master chef.
I know. The only
Stewart.
reason I said that because you said ham.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of years ago in St. Paul, I was looking for Chad and Danny, actually, Tender.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you know where Chad is? I don't know. Probably somewhere eating a ham.
Yeah.
So that's where I came from. I figured you would get that.
We all have a go-to joke, and I'm not going to give them all away because that's a lot of just personal. It's inner circle.
Right.
But
right.
Chad's is anything ham. And so please, I love bacon sticker, by the way.
Thank you.
If you see Chad, he does like ham. I can't fault him for that. I love bacon. So
as well do I. I mean, look at my ab.
Your ab.
You can tell from my ab.
Ab
that I
of
love
steel.
To eat.
Yeah, I as well.
Before we get into like any music news and stuff, the main reason I wanted to have you over,
sure,
and have you on the show is
boobies.
My boobies? There's no other boobies here.
Do you know what kind of bees produce milk? Boobies. Yes.
Ah, yes. Ghost milk boobies. I don't know, but you like to work with puppy dogs.
Well, yeah. I God, this most of this Mickey's is kicking in. I'm starting to slow down here.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry about it.
And the Fireball I was drinking before I got here.
Oh, that'll do it.
Every
spicy.
Time. It's Fireball. If you want to endorse me, you go right ahead. Here's the thing. I've always been a dog guy. I've had dogs my whole life growing up. I've had a dog more or less my entire life as an adult. I don't know. I feel like anybody at any sort of quasi level of celebrity, if you will, and I say that loosely, especially pertaining to me, because that's just kind of laughable. But if you know what I mean, should at least have something that, aside from sex, drugs, and rock and roll, they should have something that they're passionate about. And I mean, if you know me, I'm a huge Star Wars, horror movie, comic book nerd. But outside of that, I love dogs, especially bully breed dogs, pit bulls and Amstaffs and English Bull Terriers and all that stuff. And I've been doing personally stuff with a couple the Los Angeles County Animal Shelter stuff, just donating money here and there,
right?
With various groups and various whatever. It's one of those things where I feel like if you give a homeless person $5 and you tell somebody about it, you're not real. You're you lose the karma point or whatever the fuck. If that makes any sense.
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was at Popeyes one night and there was this dude sleeping, and you could tell he was homeless because he had all his shit with him, and he, big beard and just dirty and gross. But I saw him just laying over there. I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday night. They got the fucking deal. I got some extra chicken. I went over. I'm like, dude, you hungry? He's like, really?
Yeah.
And exactly. Exactly.
And on that note, my buddy Tiny Bubs, who's an amazing drummer, he's in that legendary punk band TSOL, and they were also a rock band, but that's two different things. But he does a lot of the same stuff,
right.
And we were
only if they don't ask for it. That's
yeah. Well, I mean, on that tip, I'm kind of hit or miss because I'm really not a people person. I'm kind of like, I don't want to get all philosophical, especially here, but I'm a total misanthrope, dude. I hate people. I fucking hate people. I have to fucking get drunk to just be social. But moving away from that, like if I see a homeless person and they have a dog, you can bet your ass I'll give them a $5 or a couple bucks if I can, if I have it. And cause it's not like I'm fucking money falling out of my wallet or anything, but and I always say the same thing. I say, just make sure you take care of your dog, man. And it's just one of those things that I'm really passionate about, and I wish there were more no-kill shelters everywhere, but especially in California, especially in Southern California, LA area. There's a great group called nkla.org, No Kill Los Angeles. Ironically, my best friend in the world works for an advertising agency, and they did their whole campaign. We had like a whole like bro moment talking about that a few years ago, and it's just one of those things where like, I'm looking at your Paul Stanley right there, and I wish people like that. I'm sure they do charitable stuff, but they should do more, because if you're raking in hundreds of millions of dollars every year, stop buying castles and boats and shit.
Right.
Like George Lucas donated, I think, all the money, Disney, like $6 billion to charity. You know why? Because he doesn't need any more fucking money.
Right.
How many grand and great grandkids can you give your fucking money to before it's just redundant? Anyways, I'm getting way off topic. Dogs. I love dogs. Dogs. I have a great dog. Her name's Mila. She's an Amstaff, which is American Staffordshire Terrier. She's basically a pit bull in layman's terms. She's my best friend. I love her. It's like having a kid, a best friend, and like a retarded child / I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure 60% of the people out there listening probably have dogs, so you get it. But it's just one of those things where it's like, you know what? I'm not telling everyone to go adopt a dog, but it's like, hey man, if you got $30 extra this month instead of going and buying like perfect example, I bought us these shitty Mickeys, and so instead of buying something fancy, cheers, yeah, right. Instead of buying something fancy, that's like a couple bucks that you could put towards a local rescue in your area or whatever. And this is where people are like, okay, I'm going to turn this off.
I don't think
I wanted to hear about Bret Michaels' bandana.
Wig?
No, what? That's a wig?
No.
I don't believe that.
No way.
I don't believe that.
Never.
Never.
No, because honestly, the reason how I found out about this, 'cause, we've been friends on Facebook for a while.
Yeah.
And when you guys were on tour last summer, last summer or last
fall,
or
it
whatever.
was last fall. I know.
Yeah. And every town you went to, you
had a
post,
contest. Yeah.
and it's like, donate to your local shelter. Mm-hmm. Show me that you did, and then
it was
into the show.
And it was I think it was if you did all you had to, it's technology, so you can just take a screen cap or whatever.
Right. Absolutely.
Like a receipt or whatever it is, or an email or a credit card bill or what. I don't care. I really was kind of frugal with it, and I was like, if you do $20 or more, I'll put you in a raffle for your city to win. Basically, like you and a guest come to the show for free on me. And most of the cities, honestly, there was only really one or two people max. So most of the time they got it anyhow. But I also said if you did $100 or more, you got to come to sound check and meet the band within reason. And, depending, circumstances may vary. But come to sound check, come hang out. And I had a couple people do that, and I was very liberal with that. And I brought a couple people on the bus and like gave out some merch and like. Then they, of course, got them and a +1 on the guest list, too. And I thought, and I even told Tammy, and it's really one of those things where it's like, if I want to put a name with a +1 on a city, or a guest list every city, everywhere we go, that's really, my prerogative.
Right.
But I told him, I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. I just, want your blessing and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, he's like, fucking, listen, Bubba, that's fucking awesome. I'll spare you the impression. But he was just like, that's rad. I totally support that, whatever you want to do. And, I really went out at full blast, and I raised a couple $1,000s. I think it was a little less than $4.
Dude, that's fucking
across
great, man.
across the country. And,
right, but still, it's great.
And I definitely that made my day. It was really cool. It was really neat. And like I was kind of rambling a minute ago. It's like, you know what? Like if you feel like doing something nice, there's so like type in your zip code and like animal rescue, and I guarantee they all take PayPal. Like send them $20. That's like that'll feed a dog for like a month. or a couple dogs for a week, or what the fuck ever, or cats or birds or whatever you're into, it's what you put out there, you get back, and that's fucking whatever.
Absolutely. A few weeks ago I had the the SoCal.
That's fucking whatever. Words to live by Ace Von Johnson.
That's fucking whatever. It works. No, I had the SoCal Bulldog Rescue people on, and that was, that was my way of reaching out and being able to do something.
I think that's awesome.
Puppy dogs.
Puppies.
I love the puppy dogs. Ace, dude, it was a fucking blast having you in.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks you
for
so
having
much. Pussycat, you'll catch them on tour this summer, of course, with Quiet Riot and
Bang Your Head tour with Bullet Boys and Gilby Clark.
Boys.
And QR, obviously.
Gilby Clark
is
fucking amazing.
Gilby's a great guy.
Trying to get him in on the show, too.
I put in a word.
Yeah, I ran into him at the Comedy Store.
Really?
Yeah.
Who were you guys seeing?
Oh, Florentine and
Dean
Del
that
Rey
makes sense.
again.
Yeah. I love stand-up comedy.
And he ended up being on the podcast that night with Richie Kotzen.
Oh, great guitar player.
Oh, my God. That dude's just sick.
Yeah.
Fucking Winery Dogs. Go buy the Winery Dogs record. Absolutely.
Go buy it. And go buy the new Ghost record, too.
Yes, that, too, which I need to do. I need to check that out.
Great band.
So, yeah.
And go buy our new record when it comes out.
Yes, please
New
do.
Pussycat.
Please do, because we need to keep the rock and roll record industry alive.
Well, whatever. Fuck the industry. All the fucking
Well,
suits.
no, I'm not.
Keep the records.
I'm not talking about that.
Keep
I'm
new
just,
bands coming out and new music, and
I'm just talking about rock and roll in general, not about suits.
You say industry, I start thinking a guy in a suit with a briefcase.
And I work in that industry, so
yeah, some guy that made $20,000 on publishing that I never got paid on.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah, true story. Yeah.
I edit stuff.
Yeah, go music industry.
Yay! Check out rockstarleatherworks.com. Go buy yourself a leather band or a leather watch, cock ring, whatever you want to do.
They do guitar straps?
I bet I could get him to do one.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I'll talk to him.
Tammy does guitar straps. Leather down, face down, leather.
Oh, that's
works.
right.
Yeah,
That's
face
right.
leather down.
Hey!
Yeah.
It's the name of the new Pussycat record. Leather down.
Yeah. Face down leather works. Yeah.
Face down leather. That's right.
He's
He's got the website and all that kind of shit. Well, that's
revenue.
just we'll just get him in on the show. I told him on the cruise, I was like, dude,
He'll probably do it.
I'm like, I've been trying to get him through Twitter and through Facebook.
I'll talk to him.
Talk to him.
I know a guy that knows a guy.
Yeah. I'm people who know people. I'm the guy behind the guy.
We'll get him a bottle of Jack. He'll show up.
I like that idea.
This empty Mickey's bottle is yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate the Mickeys, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now I have 2 Michelob Lights left over. Not Ultras, but actual Michelob Lights. So check out rockstarleatherworks.com and go buy yourself a leather band or watch. I love mine. I need more. So Lee, all the love you got on the Bobby Brown episode, send me another one. Check out the where I got my car. What was that place called again?
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. OneStopAutoLA.com. That's the number one, StopAutoLA.com. Check out the 3 Sides of the Coin podcast, the KISS podcast. I do PR for them. I do their other podcast called Dropping the Needle, and we should be doing another one soon. Hit me up on the Twitter, as Chris Jericho likes to say. Izzy_Presley. IzzyPresleyProductions.com is the website. Another effing podcast on Facebook. Facebook.com/another effing podcast. Ace, how can they get a hold of you if they need to get a hold of you?
I actually have AceVonJohnson.com or the @ Ace Von Johnson or what the fuck ever at I really prefer Instagram or Twitter. I really, Facebook's there too, but it's 2010.
You just brought your Facebook back.
Yeah, I deactivate it when we're not on tour usually because I just get too many weird people like emailing me and stuff. And
right, like me.
Nah, you have my number, but
true.
But yeah, pretty much anything /@ whatever Ace Von Johnson, AceVonJohnson.com, AceVonJohnson.yourmom. Also, you can reach me there.
I have reached you there. I think we're matrixed somewhere along the ways.
Yeah.
Ace, thank you so much, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
This is a fucking blast.
Cheers.
Help out your local dog rescues
Yeah,
too,
man.
by the way.
Get a dog, adopt a cat, adopt a bird, a squirrel, a reptile. I don't care. Just
an Izzy. I mean, whatever you want to
Yeah,
adopt.
get an iguana, name it Izzy. I think that's a good name.
I like that. Or you can just
Izzy.
send me money. Oh yeah, if you want to send me money. If you want to send me money, you want to donate to the show, izzy.presley@gmail.com is the email for that on PayPal. So, all right, we will see you next week. Maybe Monty Pittman next week for sure. Possibly the week after. Working on the Blue Meanie, Mr. Brian Heffron. Brian Heffron. I should just look at that. Yeah, Brian Heffron. He's the Blue Meanie and the ECW. Working on getting him on the show too. I will see you next week. I do love you all.